Hey guys, it's your boy Shredder here from Exus, bringing you another Outer Planes video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new 6-star hero upgrade and who you should be prioritizing with your hard-earned gems. So if you enjoy the content today, drop a like and subscribe. Please make sure to take a look at our Exus media page as well. It's covering other non-turn-based gacha and a lot of new game news and other bits and pieces there. So a lot of content coming up on there at the moment. Do take a look. So if you're not sure what the 6-star hero upgrade is, it's denoted on your characters by this little circular wheel with the middle part attached. So they actually added on the last update an additional upgrade which you need to be level 100 for, and it costs 200 of these upgrade stones, so it is really expensive. It does give a nice stat boost, but you don't want to be spending your upgrade stones willy-nilly, because that 200 it takes quite a long time. That's it's basically 5 days of 5 days worth of doing your stone retrieval, and that's including your upgrades. So it is going to take you a while. So in terms of which units are going to be best, I'll just pop up and show you. They did actually list for us. There you go. They did actually list for us like what each unit is going to get, and it is a static thing. So we know that of the 5 class types, and then their 2 sub class types, they're all going to get the same thing when you upgrade them. So if you want to have a look at this table, it's on the update notice from 18th of July. But essentially what it is, the most valuable things we'd upgrade first is likely going to be your DPS units, your primary DPS. So for me, I've done my Noah, my Stella, and I haven't done my Rin, that's a lie. Well, my Noah, my Stella, they're my most important ones that I use all the time everywhere. The second most important things are probably going to be the units that get speed. Now, there is quite a few, pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at least 50% of all the classes are going to get speed upgrades. So it really depends on which ones you use the most. So after you've done your primary DPS units, it's really going to depend which units you're using the most in PvP as well. Obviously, PvP is a pretty big part of the game. There's a lot of rewards, a lot of people enjoy it. Maybe the current meta is a bit stale, but upgrading your PvP defense is going to be pretty important as well if you're trying to keep your defense record up, because it's quite a significant boost to the base stats, specifically for some of these units like Mene. Right, her base defense is actually the highest in the game, and with the upgrade to 6-star with this, she ends up with like over 1,000 base defense. It's a bit absurd. It's the most in the game by quite a long shot. But essentially, units that get extra speed are going to help you mechanically with the game content. So speed is just something that is really hard to get and really valuable. It's I'd say it's the most valuable stat in the game. And when you're trying to do hard content like guild raids, level 12 gear raids as well, the things that you lack most of the time is not really the survivability. It's having enough damage to push the boss to an enraged phase, or having enough speed to be able to get a chain in. So those stats are going to be the ones that are most important to you. So, if you look at your main priorities are going to be your primary DPS first. So I've done my Noah and my Dark Stella, Demiurge Stella. Your next priority is probably, if you're a PvP player especially, going to be your PvP defense. And so for myself, my PvP defense and PvP offense essentially as well. But there's there's some units that really don't benefit a lot from this upgrade. I mean, case in point is going to be Valentine. She's a staple on probably at least 80% of PvE teams and a lot of PvP offense, but this upgrade is really not doing much for her. It's attack, defense, and health. It's really a waste. It doesn't give you any effectiveness. It doesn't give you any speed. So just because it's a quote unquote good or meta unit, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to go and rush and spend your upgrade stones on it. Units on defense are a little bit different because you don't have any choice, of when you're using them. Everyone's going to attack it. With a unit like Valentine, you can pick and choose when to use her depending on the defense you're attacking into. So for other units, like example Eternal, that is a sub DPS and a debuffer, she gets some speed, so that's a bit more useful for her. It would be nice if she got effectiveness, but no one's getting effectiveness out of this, unfortunately. So it's not really of much value. 6 extra speed is nice, but HP and defense is kind of useless. The speed's minimal, especially for PvE content. You really aren't going to get a lot out of getting 6 extra speed on her. As long as you're moving faster than the boss on the first turn, that's normally enough to kind of get things rolling with her. So primary DPS, other units that are gaining speed that are going to help you with mechanical things. So Seiran, I've already upgraded her, she gets speed. Veronica gets speed, she actually gets quite a bit of speed, 7 speed. Mene doesn't. Your Tio gets speed as well, which helps her to turn cycle. So essentially I'm gonna point back at the back at the table here until you have a look at which units are getting the speeds, right? These are going to be high value ones to target because they're going to help you with things mechanically in the game. Alright, and that's an important point. And this is the same reason why it's really important to be getting your 3-star units that you might use in PvE content up to 4-star Awaken as well. Because getting these extra weakness chain gauge points is really high value for things like Guild Raid, where they specifically make weakness gauge 40 points, so you need a team full of 4 stars to do 20 each time. So mechanical improvements are more useful than flat stat improvements. So that's why getting speed is more important. But equally, for your damage dealers that you're using all the time, your Noahs, your Stellars, probably Air is another one. This upcoming Guild Raid is likely going to be weak to fire, so Air is going to be another really good one to upgrade because you're going to want that extra damage to push bosses to enrage phases, to be able to burst them down. She's also top tier, almost required for Chimera 12. So these units that you get a lot of use in a lot of game modes are going to be the best ones to spend your points on. I think that probably about covers it all. I would just be really mindful because it does take a long time when you're upgrading these. So if it's a unit that you're not sure that you're going to use for a long time, I'd probably just hold on to it and wait until you actually reach a wall in content. If you're able to clear Chimera 12, if you're able to beat the hardest Guild Raid boss with a lot of points, if you're not actually hitting any walls in the content you're trying to do, then you don't really need to spend all these resources. They're good for helping you break past certain barriers that you have. But otherwise, I would hold on to them. Okay, so that's my advice. First focus is your main DPS. Second focus is, if you're a PvP player, your PvP defense. Third focus is other units that are going to gain utility for your PvE content. And out of all those three things, try to focus on the units that have value across multiple of those. Units that you're going to use in PvE and in PvP, like your Sairans, your Tios. Leo, not so much, right? He's only PvP, so he's probably low value if you're not specifically trying to get decent PvP ratings. These units are all going to be high value. So have a look at the chart, have a look at your units, see which ones you're using the most, and focus on those ones. But really the smartest thing to do is to wait until you hit a wall in content before you upgrade these, because it's going to set you back quite a while. If you liked the content today, guys, drop a like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, join the community Discord if you've got any more questions, and I'll see you in the next one.